Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha and today I want to share with you another eyeshadow look featuring a beautiful palette that I'm really loving at the moment, and it also featured in my monthly favourites from September that I've recently shared with you. And of course it is the Revolution Soph Palette. So it looks like this. This one is £10. You can purchase it from tambeauty.com and also superdrug.com. I know that it's been out of stock a couple of times, or once at least that I know of, so hopefully it is available, and of course I will add the links for you down below. So the shades in this one look like that. Absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful palette, but not only is it beautiful, as most eyeshadow palettes are, or all of them actually that come from Makeup Revolution, but also it's very versatile. There are a lot of shades in there. So you've got your neutrals, you've got your reds, you've got your peaches, you've got mattes, you've got shimmers, you've also got Christmas colours, so you've got reds and greens, you've got a deeper green, you've got purple, you've got everything in this palette, and I can see why everybody is wanting this palette at the moment. It also features a matte white, a matte black shade if you're interested in those as well, but that black is so deep and so pigmented, it is amazing. It is the best black shade that I've ever come across, and yet love it, even though I don't wear too much black, but you only need to barely touch that to get a little bit of pigment on your brush. I just love all of these shades and I can't wait to share with you another look. What I'm going to do now, I shared with you the I Heart Makeup or Makeup Revolution if you're in the US, and it was the chocolate rose gold palette yesterday. So I tried to do a little bit of a different look because I have done looks with all of these palettes before, and this week I wanted to share with you looks that, you know, weren't necessarily, like for example the Flawless 4 palette it has a lot of red tones, you know, them beautiful red tones that we're all loving at the moment. So I wanted to share with you something different, and I think I did. And then yesterday I wanted to share with you a different look as well. Obviously the palette is called Rose Gold, so I wanted to share with you something a little bit different to what I usually would go for, and I certainly did. I went for that sort of yellow green gold tone on the lid. It was a little bit difficult, and if you like cool tones, then that palette is not for you, because the base colours, the matte shades that I use, they're very, very warm in tone. I think there was one grey shade in there, but I'm sure, if I can remember from my swatch video, I'm sure that grey even comes off brown, but I can't be 100% positive. But I just love, love, love these palettes. As I said yesterday, they would not have featured in my monthly favourites if I didn't love them, and I'm not using them you know, throughout the month of September, and of course I'm continuing to do so in October. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this palette today. Now I usually start off with this shade, which is a cup of tea, and I absolutely love that as a transitional shade. So I've got to do something a little bit different today, which I'm going to do, and I think I've wanted to use this colour from the beginning. It's either the green shade or the teal shade, so one of those I'm going to feature on the lid, but obviously I want to lay down the base first of all. So I'm just going to put that there so I can see the actual shades. And of course I'm all in pink today. I've got my beautiful chenille pink jumper that I picked up from Primark again. I mean, I'm absolutely obsessed with Primark at the moment. In fact, I've already been there again, and I'm going to film another haul for you as well, and this time there's not quite so many jumpers in it, but they've got so much that I want to purchase. In fact, for I would say over the last year I've not really been to Primark that much, but over the last 3 weeks I've certainly made up for that. But anyway, this was £13 from Primark, and of course I will list everything down below for you. So I'm not quite sure what I want to start off with. I think I might start off with Tiramisu, because I think I've yeah, tiramisu, because I'm sure I've always started off with, like I say, cup of tea. So I'm going to start off with tiramisu and see how I get on. I'm going to try and make it match with what I'm wearing, but as you saw in yesterday's video, if you watched that using the rose gold palette, I actually thought it wasn't going to match, and it did. It looked really good in the end, especially with that bright magenta lipstick, Cliche. So I've got my mirror in front of me again, so I hope that you found that more helpful to be able to actually see what I'm doing. I'm just worried that the palette is going to fall on the floor. So this shade is Tiramisu, and I hope I mentioned, I think I started to mention, I'm going to be starting or using the Primark contour eye brush. So I'm just going to pop that in the crease. And this is why I like this brush, and I mention it every single time, because I can just pop that in the crease and just run that backwards and forwards, and it just does the work for me, this brush. And then take it up a little bit higher. And that is exactly, I'm so pleased about this actually, because that is exactly the base that I wanted. I don't want it too red in tone, because I want it quite a muted look because of the pink that I'm wearing in the jumper. So of course I'm going to do the other eye as well. That is a gorgeous shade. You could just wear that all over the eye as well. Love that. And what also I'm finding with not just this palette, but all three of, and I don't know if Makeup Revolution or, you know, Tan Beauty, not Tan Beauty, but Makeup Revolution, I Heart Makeup has reformulated, or they're using different formulas, but I feel that ever since they've done or released the Amplify palettes, the formula is amazing on all of the palettes. So all three of these palettes that I've featured this week, they all seem to be fantastic quality. And that is why when you say to me, you're asking me, which one shall I go for? I can't choose between them, because the formula is, you know, just spot on. They're very buildable, as you've just seen me do. I've built that up. You know, I could have kept it if I wanted to, you know, with just one tap in the product, but I want it to show, and I've mentioned this before, if you're like me and you've got, I mean, my lids aren't, you know, overly hooded, but they are a little bit, and what I want is to take that eyeshadow higher, so that when, you know, my eye is open, I can see that eyeshadow. And like that, perfect. And yeah, so I love the formula of these. Now I want to deepen it up a little bit, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I want to keep it quite pink, but also I want to add a little bit of green as well. So I think I'm going to deepen that up with, I think I may have used Mug Cake before. I'm going to use Rosewood this time. So I'll just share with you Rosewood. Now this is Mug Cake, and then this one here is Rosewood. So hopefully this one works okay. So again, I'm just going to add a little bit of product onto the tip of that brush, and I'm going to keep it quite tight again into the crease, because that worked really well yesterday. Perfect. And you just don't need too much of these dark colours, you know, to give you that beautiful definition on the eye. So basically I just put, and you can hardly even see the amount of product that I've got on there. Perhaps you can in the camera, but in real life, I'm going to tap off a little bit now. and I'm just keeping it very, very tight in that crease. And even with that tiny amount of product on, that is enough to give me the depth that I want in that crease there. And again, this brush is so good. I'm going to mention it again. If you cannot, for whatever reason, you don't live near a Primark, or the Primark stores are not in your country at the moment, then Morphe do a contoured eye brush, and it is available on beautybay.com for £4. So basically that. And when I turn the brush up the other way, it works to put that colour in the crease there. So that's that. Now I'm going to do exactly the same with the other eye. Again, keep it really, really tight in the crease. And then just blend that out. The thing is, what works for me may not work for you. We all have different eye shapes. And, you know, some people's eyes are not going to be hooded or whatever. So whatever works for you, basically. So I just find that this works for me. Yeah, I really love that. Just blend that out a little bit more. Now I'm just going to go back into the shade Tiramisu, and I'm just going to blend that out a little bit. And I'm going to do exactly what I did yesterday. I'm going to go into a light shade. Now I'm just seeing which one. I think Pancakes may work. So Pancakes is this shade here. If you've got a lighter skin tone to me, you might want to use this one here, which I think, yeah, it's called Penguin. But Pancakes I think is going to work, and I'm just going to put that on the flat of the brush, and then just do exactly what I did yesterday and just take that through there. And then if you've got any harsh lines, that is actually going to take that out and just blend that out. So I really like that technique. So now I'm just going to go under the eye, and of course I'm going to use Tiramisu. In my tutorials I tend not to, or eye looks, whatever you want to call it, I don't really tend to use too many colours because I just don't feel that I need that many colours. So I generally use, you know, just the 3. And I always pop a colour underneath, as I explained yesterday. Well, if I don't do this, it just looks like my makeup is not really finished, because I don't wear any eyeliner or anything like that, and I just feel that this really frames my eye. So like that. Now what I'm going to do is, with that Pancake shade, I'm just going to go all over the lid, just to add a little bit of a base. And I'm going to, now for the good bit of putting the shimmer on the eye. Now I really want to use a green. I think the teal shade may be just a little bit too dark, and I really want to see what that green looks like as well, and it's called Pine Tree. So I'll just show you the colour in the actual pan. So Pine Tree is this one here. I've not used it on the eye before. I have swatched it for you in my original swatch video. It looks like that on the finger, and yeah, I don't know if I want to put a little bit more of tiramisu. Actually, I'm just going to get a little bit of tiramisu. I'm going to run that over the lid as well. I just want a little bit more on there. Perfect. Now with the shade Pine Tree, I'm going to put it in the middle, so it's just like how you would excuse me, how you would add like a spotlight eye. So I'm just going to pop it there. Oh, I knew this was going to be a beautiful shade. Oh, that is absolutely stunning. That, oh, that is amazing. I love that. So now I'm reverting back to the Primark brush, and I'm getting a little bit more of Rosewood on the brush, and I'm just going to just deepen up that outer third and just gently blend the two together like that. Then on the other side, and I'm also gently going to just run that brush into the crease just to make sure that there's no eyeshadow on the crease. Now I'm going to change brushes, and I'm going to be using the PS Pro Shading Eye Brush. So it's that one there. Now I want quite a light look, and I think, because I did use Grow Old the other day, so I think I'm going to go with Sparks Fly, which is this one here. Yeah, it is, yeah. Sparks Fly, which is quite a light colour. So what I'm going to do is just add that to my brush, and I'm going to pop that on the inner part of the eye, like that. A little bit more. Just merge it in with the Pine Tree shade, and then what I want to do is run that all the way around the eye and underneath. Now what I have been really enjoying is actually adding, you know, like a shimmer shade onto the lid and then running it all the way, but I feel that that green shade is a little bit too deep to actually give me any light in the inner corner. So that's why I'm adding another shade, and this one is just stunning. So there's that one. Now I've got to do it to the other eye. So that's worked really, really well actually. Like that. And I think when I add a shade all the way around the eye, especially underneath, it really does lighten up the eye. I'm just going to add a little bit more Tiramisu underneath. And basically, yep, we are done. So as I did on the other two videos, I'm going to go through the shades that I have used today. So I started off with the shade Tiramisu, So that was in the crease, and then I took that up high, you know, so it shows. So that was Tiramisu. Then I moved on to the shade Rosewood, which is that one there. So you've got Mug Cake there and Rosewood, and Rosewood I feel has got a tiny hint of purple to it. It's quite a cool toned dark brown, whereas this one here, Mug Cake, has got a little bit more warmth to it. So I went with the Rosewood, something different, and then I went with the green shade this time, called Pine Tree, and popped that on the middle of the eye. I then actually I've missed out a shade, haven't I? I then added Pancake, which is that shade there, to the top of like the brow bone, and then I added this shade here, which is called Sparks Fly. Yeah, Sparks Fly, that one there. So I popped that on the inner corner, and I think that that has worked really well. I think it works very nicely with the colours that, especially the lip colour, and the lip colour that I've got on today is the Renaissance lipstick in my favourite shade, Greatest. I absolutely love that, so I think that works really well, and I think it works very well with the jumper as well, because I didn't want to obviously, you know, replicate this pink on the eye too much, but yeah, I think that looks really good, and I absolutely love that green shade. And I think if you added some kind of, you know, you wet the brush first and then added it to the eye, then I think you're going to make that pop even more. I'm not really a great fan of green eyeshadow, but to be honest, I think Sophie has done such an amazing job, and this is why I couldn't wait to actually wear this green shade. So that's the trio of eyeshadow looks for you this week. I hope you enjoyed those, and I wanted to finish off with the amazing Soph palette. I mean, I'm loving all three palettes, but I think that Sophie has done an amazing job in bringing this palette to us. She's done a well, I think it's great. I love it. And not only that, it featured in my favourite, so I have definitely been loving it. And you can see that it's got fingerprints all over it, so I've definitely been using it as with the others. So I would really love it if you gave this video a thumbs up. And of course, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe to ensure that you don't miss any future videos. I generally do a video every day apart from now Sunday, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed that trio of videos. But thank you so much for watching, and until next time, thank you. Bye.